Hey everyone, it's FLAK Fire. We just got a new, closer look at Embark Studios' debut game called The Finals. Now, I was lucky enough to get an advanced briefing on the game, and I'm actually really excited to talk about it. There's a chance maybe you've not heard of the game, but I will tell you it's probably going to be on your radar now, and for good reason. So, let's take some time, let's answer some of the big questions you might have about The Finals. So The Finals is a competitive FPS featuring 4 teams of 3 trying to capture boxes of cash and deposit them at different points across the map. That is the objective for the game, and I know that sounds simple enough until you learn that all of the arenas are fully destructible. And I know that you're probably listening to that phrase and going, yeah, destructible, we know what that means, right? But we're not talking about taking down a wall here or there, but a complete destruction of entire buildings, right? This has kind of been something that personally myself as a Battlefield fan have really hoped to see. I don't want to make comparisons to Battlefield, but obviously here with Embark, many of the devs are former DICE employees, and based on what we're seeing in the alpha trailer here, their expertise makes destruction shine. I gotta say that all of the just destructibility that we see in this trailer is really, really impressive. So you don't have to go around buildings in the finals. You can simply go through them, or developers want to encourage you to utilize destruction in interesting ways. So just drop an entire building on an enemy team. Destruction impacts objectives as well. We saw in the trailer how one of the deposit points can be buried under rubble. If you took a real close look at the trailer, you might have noticed that you can actually carry one of the deposit points. That essentially means that you can bait teams or set up ambushes to take their money as your own. I believe we did hear that there are respawns and revives, so it's not going to be a one-and-done experience. Personally, I'm really fatigued with the whole Battle Royale kind of thing. I really miss some of the fast-paced, compelling gunplay, and supposedly that's going to be a major factor here with the finals. Embark was also really excited to reveal destruction in the finals takes place server side. Now, that means essentially every player experiences the same impact to the world at the same time. And that goes for like huge things from building collapses down to the destruction of small objects like furniture. Devs aren't really ready to reveal exactly how they've managed that feat, but they are clearly excited about it, describing it as what amounts to a holy grail for the industry. From my limited understanding about how this works, right, having everybody on the same page technically is a good thing for gameplay. So I'm really excited to see how that plays out in the finals. On the topic of gameplay details, during the briefing, developers said the gameplay is fast-paced, it's high-tempo, it does have a slower time to kill. They did mention specifically it might be comparable to a game like Team Fortress. It is focused on shorter engagement distances. They really want you to get into that close quarters combat. In addition to destructible arenas, there are other ways to impact the world. You saw lots of little examples of this kind of dotted throughout the trailer. I'm going to kind of break them down here because I went in frame by frame and basically found everything that I possibly could. So, of course, we see the use of special foam in the game to create walls. You actually see it in one shot used to create a bridge, which is just mind-blowingly creative to me for a game like this. It's even used to block access to a deposit point. You can actually see that in one of the shots. They pop a little turret on top of that deposit point there. You can also pick up items and use them in offensive and defensive ways. We see somebody throw a container full of that foam and it creates a wall. Taking another closer look at the trailer, you can spot balloons filled with different substances throughout the level. You have the purple for the foam. There's a green one. I'm assuming maybe there's some kind of like corrosive damage. You've also got this use of a lot of different items across the map. So you can grab things like fire extinguishers and explosive barrels and throw them at enemies or shoot them and create some kind of impact on the gameplay around you. I also saw when I went frame to frame that there are interactable sections of the map. So there's like a button on a wall at one point where you can see it probably deploys some kind of vertical shield, or it will block off an alleyway. So finding ways to get players more involved with the map, I think, is great. It's awesome to see here along with everything else going on. It's very ambitious, right? And developers say they want to have a game where if you can think it, you can probably do it, right? That's similar to the first line that you hear in the alpha trailer. And I think that that's a really tall order. I love it when it works out that way, when you're playing a game and you can, instead of really thinking, is the game going to prevent me from doing this? It lets you do it, right? And with the finals, it looks like they're going to give you a lot of tools to do some really creative stuff. Characters in the finals. You're probably looking at this and going, oh, it's another hero shooter. It's not intended to be a hero shooter. You're able to build your character and make it your own. So that goes for gameplay abilities, and that runs all the way, obviously, through cosmetics. During the presentation that we had, we did hear mention of stealth and tank builds. In the footage, you can spot things like a turret and a zip line, which I'm sure are going to be part of that system as well. Going frame by frame, I was able to spot an ability that let you charge through walls. So I can confirm that you won't even need explosives to deform the map. But devs say, forming strats with these tools is vital to successful gameplay. I want to stress, I haven't gotten hands on the game yet. We just had this kind of early briefing, but this is a lot of what I'm taking away from that. Looking at the trailer, lots of weapons in there. I was able to identify a few. Of course, you had standard fare like pistols and revolvers. Got an AK-47 style assault rifle in there. I spotted a couple of weapons based on historical guns, so it would look like the M14. And there's even a Martini Henry style rolling block in there for fans of maybe some previous World War I oriented games. Similarly, I spotted derivatives of the MAC-10, the M60 LMG. We've known about that one for a while. You also get a look at the pump-action China Lake grenade launcher. And there's a flamethrower, as well as a katana and an RPG. So lots of tools here, and all of this takes place under the guise of an over-the-top virtual reality game show. Teams are fighting in tournaments in an effort to make it to the tip top of the podium. Some good news, if you're eliminated, you simply jump into a new tournament. I'm assuming that there's going to be some big payoffs, interesting rewards for making it to, quote-unquote, the finals. But hopefully we'll be learning more about this soon. Maps in the game, haven't spoken about those yet, but devs say they are based on iconic real-world locations. They are still being quite tight-lipped on exactly where they're going to be taking us for the finals, but I'm looking forward to that. Maybe doing some real-life comparisons to what's in the game, that kind of fun stuff. They did mention that there is a narrative for players outside of the arena. So specifically, they talked about things like seasonal sponsors, kind of adding to the competitive nature of the game. Devs did confirm a battle pass for the live service, which, not surprising. In case you didn't know, the finals is free to play. So we did get news that, if you didn't know already, the finals is going to release on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Devs have not yet set a firm release date. I am happy to tell you that there's going to be a closed alpha kicking off on Steam September 29th, so just in a couple of days. You can sign up for a chance to play via Steam, but I have been told it's going to be a small test. It's not going to be one for marketing, so don't expect any gameplay footage from that one. Developers say they really want to work on the gameplay, getting the gameplay right. So that's really what the driving focus is going to be behind the closed alpha test. In the meantime, I'll be keeping a close eye on this game. I am very anxious to hear what you think. On Twitter the other day, if you don't follow me on there, you should definitely go do that. But we had a fun discussion about Battlefield 2042 and the new Call of Duty game and how I felt about it. And I said that it really opened up a space for a third party to come in and grab my attention. And from what I've seen of the finals, if everything shakes out the way that we're seeing it here in this trailer, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. But do tell me your thoughts in the video comments. What do you think about this? If you're a longtime player of Battlefield or some other games out there, what do you think about what you see? Does it interest you? Does it look fresh? Developers said that they really wanted to try and shake up the formula of what we think of with FPS games because they kind of gotten stale. So do you think they hit the mark on this? Tell me down below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If not, a dislike. Make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to get updates on all the latest videos. Obviously, the finals going forward is going to be a pretty big part of this channel. So if you're interested in news and developments of that as we move closer to the release date, subscribe, tap the bell so you stay up to date on that. If you want to support this channel, keep your money, share this video. You can also check out some of our channel sponsors there down below. In the meantime, thanks for watching.